What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? We are back with another reaction video. Thank you so much for joining me today on this beautiful day. I hope you all are doing well today. And to all my new supporters joining us, welcome to the family. I hope you all enjoyed this video today just as much as myself, because I know I will. Everybody, please feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and turn all post notifications on so you don't miss another one of these reaction videos. And feel free to share this video and this channel to anybody, friends or family, whoever you feel may be interested in joining us to watch these lovely videos on the daily. Now let's jump right into it, man. Before I watch this video, I want to go ahead and read this quick article on Martin Short. Martin Hayter Short, born March 26, 1950. He's a Canadian-American actor and writer. Short is known as an energetic comedian who gained prominence for his roles in sketch comedy. He has also acted in numerous films and television shows. He has received various awards, including 2 Primetime Emmy Awards, 2 SAG Awards, and a Tony Award. A Tony Award? I've never heard of a Tony Award. Okay, that's new. That's new. Short was made an officer of the Order of Canada in 2019. He is known for his work on television programs, SCTV, and Saturday Night Live. Short created the characters Jiminy Glick and Ed Grimley. He also acted in the sitcom Mulaney from 2014 to 2015. The variety series Maya and Marty from 2016, and the drama series The Morning Show in 2019. He has also had an active career on stage starring Broadway productions including Neil Simpson's musicals The Goodbye Girl in 1993 and Little Me from 1998 to 1999. The latter earned him a Tony Award for Best Actor in a Musical and the former a nomination in the same category. I'm looking forward to jumping right into this video, man. I'm not wasting no more time. Today, I will be reacting to the most savage talk show guest of all time. You see, what that article failed to mention was how much of a savage he is. Let's jump right into it, man.
All the late night shows, this is the easiest one to fall asleep to. You look like George Clooney if George's mom drank during her pregnancy. To me, your comedy is like crypto. I don't understand it, but I admire it. And I didn't even know that there was an audience. I'd heard the monologue, but you know...
Sometimes you come across talk show moments that are either cringe.
He's
You
brutal
smell
with
good,
it.
which is surprising.
Why is that surprising?
I don't know. I just wouldn't think of a guy who would have a nice scent on, and it
That's
seems...
such a, like, I'm gonna really work hard to not take that as a shot.
Extremely heartfelt.
I thank you for watching it, for hate watching it. Whatever reason you were tuning in for.
You gotta love the haters. I love my haters. You gotta kill them with kindness, man. Positivity is everything.
Or simply hilarious.
You ready?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, mother.
I'll tell you, with me, eating has replaced sex completely. In fact, I had a mirror put in over my kitchen table.
But rarely are people outwardly rude to those who interview them.
No, I mean, you're pale. Yes, you're a pale.
I'm a white man,
You
yeah.
make Mike Pence look like a character in Black Panther.
Everyone except for Martin Short.
And I've been on your show many times. I've never seen the show funnier than tonight. I'm serious. Oh my God, your skin is so youthful.
Thank you.
It's not firm, but it's youthful. It's exciting for me to be talking to you because usually I talk to celebrities. You look like a #2 pencil.
So there's this etiquette on talk shows, a certain level of professionalism you need to maintain in order to both properly promote what it is you're there for and keep the audience engaged.
Just because the audience doesn't laugh out loud doesn't mean that they're not laughing on the inside.
I heard laughter, Marty. I did.
You did?
Yeah. Well, it was Jimmy's.
But before every televised appearance, there's a rehearsal, a practice interview meant to ease tension and create a sharper exchange. But what happens when the guest doesn't stick to the script? What happens when they thrive off of the tension and the
You gotta go. You gotta go.
interviewer ends up being the one on their back foot?
You never age, Jimmy. You don't. You don't. I bet you're the only late night host that goes to a pediatrician.
Thank you. That's Steve Higgins right there. You love Steve Higgins.
Oh my God. He looks to me like the world's most jovial undertaker.
Yeah.
Now, if you're not familiar with Martin Short, you're probably wondering who keeps letting this guy wreak havoc on TV? Why do the hosts seem to be either having the time of their lives alongside him?
To me, when I see you, you look like someone freeze-dried Prince Harry. That's all I say.
Or just feel like they're putting up with it. Well, here's the thing. Martin Short is no stranger to the limelight. I mean, we're talking about a guy who's been in the industry nearly 50 years, with a resume that most professionals could only dream to see a fraction of. If you're not aware, he's arguably one of the greatest comedic minds of all time.
A lifetime of exceptional work.
I don't know how many times he was on our show, but I'm telling you, for me, it was like a holiday.
However, it took a while for him to get here. See, Short's been active in the entertainment scene since the early 70s. While his start was on the theater stage, he'd sharpen his comedic chops through the renowned Second City.
I'm Second City, you're Second City, but you were Second City Toronto, and I was Second City Chicago.
An improv comedy troupe that's seen the likes of comedic greats like John Candy, Steve Carell, and Chris Farley. When you watch his interviews, you wonder, how is he so sharp?
I think you may be the best storyteller in Hollywood.
The thing is, improv teaches you to be incredibly quick-witted.
I think that I was drawn toward character work, and there was a part of me that was drawn toward the absurdity.
Given that they perform regularly in front of a large crowd, there's an immense amount of anxiety you need to overcome in order to be quick on your feet. After a while, though, it becomes far easier. It's why so many comedians get their start on the small stage.
You know, all these characters, I think, come from people you know, or combinations of people you know, and it's kind of good that they do, because that creates, even though there might be absurdist characters, it creates a kind of three-dimension.
By the late 70s, Short was already building his resume within the industry, and by the early 80s would catch the attention of SNL producer Lorne Michaels.
What do you think when you think of the name Lorne Michaels?
I think of a longtime friend, and I think of one of the great innovators in the history of show business.
SNL had a pretty big issue on their hands. It was struggling to retain viewers, and to make matters worse, Eddie Murphy had left the show amidst a booming career. However, Martin Short's addition would help completely turn the tide.
Yeah?
I can show you equal numbers of studies.
Because you know it's hard to take Eddie Murphy's spot. Like, what? Eddie Murphy gonna have them numbers up. Eddie Murphy will have your numbers, your viewers, your viewer rate skyrocket, man. Let me get Eddie Murphy on my channel right now to react to a video with me. We're doing big things. We're moving on up.
Smoking can be beneficial for you.
You can?
Yes.
No.
Well, could you name them?
Why should I name them? Why don't you name them?
His characters were not only creative, but incredibly well performed. To call him a hit would be an understatement.
Because I had a one-year contract, they're also paying us more money than they'd ever paid people, so I felt like, come on, be funny, be funny.
Yet there was one glaring problem. SNL's workload was vastly different than what he was used to.
I just wanted to survive. I didn't want to be in 9 scenes, I wanted to be in 2 scenes.
Right. Second City provided him with a more lenient work schedule and a less stressful environment. There was far more rehearsal, as opposed to SNL, where they'd often perform skits live on the air for the first time. He was so overwhelmed by the workload that by the 3rd episode, he was already writing his resignation letter.
And again, after the 3rd show, I went back and I had a meeting with Dick Ebersol, and I said I want to leave.
However, he decided to tough it out for a full season, eventually leaving to pursue a wildly successful career in film.
You know, if I drop this thing, it's gonna go off, and you'll all be blown to smithereens, so move it!
Since his career began taking off, he'd been making far more appearances on different talk shows. It was here where we saw his improvisational skills really begin to shine.
Have you had a rib removed? No.
What is it?
Is it the new chin? No, I just take care of myself. I watch for is it the new chin?
Yeah.
Able to punch back and conjure up witty remarks on the fly like it was his second nature.
I have the best hair in the business. You're an expert, right? Don't
I mean, first of all, you can barely see netting, and secondly
He'd sharpen his expertise not only as a guest, but as the host.
You know, you have a very obnoxious way of talking.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You know, these remind me of my old days as a young teenager, as just a young kid playing the video games online. especially with friends when we're going at it with each other and the comebacks are so quick. Everybody, ooh, my comebacks were so quick, man. Ain't nobody getting me. Oh man, this reminds me of the old days. Now this makes me want to go on TV and get interviewed. I got some jokes myself.
It's not a compliment, moron. You're a moron.
Oh, I'm a moron.
Yes, you are a moron.
This is the famous Larry David Anger. And are you filled with anger?
How did you find Jiminy? Where did he come from?
You know, I was always fascinated by morons with power.
Oh my gosh.
SNL and Second City had given him plenty of characters to experiment with. One of his most memorable was that of Jiminy Glick.
This is the craziest f***ing interview I've ever done in my life.
That's why they call me multidimensional.
Why was it called Fridays?
Well, because it was just like Saturday Night Live.
But not funny.
But not funny.
Yes.
This character was a bumbling, manic, and at times nonsensical interviewer.
And you've made so many films. When are you going to do the big one?
What do you mean, big one?
Something that clicks with the public.
Something that clicks with the public.
Yeah.
His entire thing was creating tension and awkward moments.
You've had an interesting career, haven't you?
Yes, I have.
I don't know a great deal about it. I see that you haven't been through hair or makeup. That was a choice.
Martin Short had a much easier time masking the anxiety under a fat suit and complete creative control. Short's ability to adapt to nearly any celebrity was on full display here.
Oh, you're hungry. I'm sorry. I have a big celebrity coming to sit here in a second, but I think I ordered a club sandwich covered in stevia.
He was even comfortable touching topics that, had he not been in character, would have seemed off limits for a talk show.
If I hear one more anti-Semitic remark from your mouth.
Oh, so now we're pretending that your people don't litigate.
Okay.
With this experience, he'd grown desensitized to the discomfort that came with being either the interviewer or the one in the hot seat. He doesn't come with the same anxiety as most people would, nor does he adhere to the same standards. See, when Martin Short is on a talk show, he commands the entire exchange.
Jimmy is to giggling what romaine lettuce is to E. coli.
Thank you.
There are those who can play along, able to roll with the punches and adapt to his sarcastic remarks.
Marty, I love it when you're on for a period of time, and then
You're glad that I'm gone.
and then I'm so glad you're gone.
Or those who seem to stall under the pressure.
If someone had told me 20 years ago that I would be on The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon with all these Emmy nominations, I would have said, Jimmy Fallon? You know,
I never thought of it that way.
Martin Short is a strong test of a host's temperament.
you look like the world's hippest insurance adjuster. You really do. No, and I mean that with love.
Thank you very much. I'm taking it with nothing but love.
If you're seasoned, you know that for the most part, it's just a bit. Some would even say they're relieved.
I could relax, and as a viewer, a person in the audience, or somebody at home, I could just enjoy Marty just being near him.
When he's on, the host is able to relax, take their foot off of the gas pedal, and let him work his charm.
You know, the pressure isn't so much on the talk show host. Rather, it's on the guest when he appears, because he just takes over. He just takes over. He has fun with it. It's natural.
It's almost like they're the ones being interviewed. Martin Short is, at the end of the day, an entertainer. His purpose is to create interest and laughter with a bit of a mischievous twist.
That's right. The audience is still saying, oh, you're not any good. And they're not, and if you have a joke that kills, so if you're the person doing those jokes and they're not working, you're very aware of the lull.
But if you ask his friends and those in the industry, they'll tell you he's the exact opposite off stage. Martin Short is an incredibly empathetic individual.
I do love you very much, as you know. It's true.
He's lived a life that at times was riddled with tragedy.
The loss of your wife.
Yeah. Listen, I can have a full conversation with Nancy right now, as if she's here. I know exactly what she'd say, because you do. We were together for 36 years.
It's shaped and molded the man he is today. Comedy, I'm sure, served as an escape.
You know, I think in a way, work is the greatest healer to that, because, you know, she wasn't necessarily in Boston as I'm putting on a suit and ready to go on stage. She was home. It's when you're home that it becomes more apparent.
A way to build relationships and cope with the turmoil that came with great loss. So when you think of why most great hosts tend to roll with the punches, you realize that there's an intense amount of mutual respect here.
Martin Short, among the best talk show guests of all time, without a doubt, and super fun to collaborate with.
They know that at the end of the day, it's just comedy. They know he's not acting with ill intent. They know that he's dealt with enough loss to empathize with nearly anyone. They know that after 50 years in the industry, he's done more than enough to earn his stripes and are just happy to be sitting in the presence of comedy greatness.
You know, of all the people that I admire in show business, you're very close to being one of them.
So when the question arises, why let this guy wreak havoc on your talk show? I think the answer is simple. If Martin Short is comfortable enough in your presence to roast you,
how long were you on the embalming table before you jumped out?
That's terrible.
it means you're doing pretty damn well.
You know, and what a lot of people don't realize is that these comedians are human as well, and they've gone through traumatizing experiences throughout their lives as well. And most comedians tell these jokes to get away from the past trauma, to go away to cover up the pain, laugh, joke. You can't cry if you're laughing and joking with someone. Think about it. It's not on your mind. So it's a good way to escape. This was an amazing video, and thank you so much, everybody, for all the recommendations towards this video. If you guys enjoyed this comedic video just as much as myself, please feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and turn all post notifications on. Feel free to spam my comment section and use that suggestion link down below in my description if you would like to recommend some more of these amazing videos for myself to react to. And guys, feel free to share this video and this channel to your friends and family members, whoever you feel may be interested in joining us on the daily to watch these wonderful, hysterical videos. Once again, thank you so much for joining me today. Stay safe, and I'll catch you all in the next reaction video.